Efficiency will only take you so far. To be truly effective, you need to start with your people. Smartsheet helps enterprises better align people and technology so they can move faster, drive innovation, and achieve more. Smartsheet, the platform for enterprise achievement. Learn more at smartsheet.com.
Let's talk about the customer service dilemma.
Welcome to Universal Account Services. Please tell us your account number.
You know what I mean. You don't want to call,
I'm sorry, we didn't get that.
but you have to. And then,
Hello, and thanks for calling Universal Account Services. My name is Claire. May I ask who I'm speaking with?
it can be frustrating, to put it lightly. Now, can you imagine being that poor person on the other end of the phone call? The customer service rep, that real person who gets to sit inside a cubicle all day long, hearing from the likes of, well, you.
Look, you're the fourth person I've had to explain this to, and I keep getting passed around.
And this real person has to solve your problem. This person doesn't know you from Adam, and they now need to figure out your issue.
Okay, I'm going to put you on a brief hold while I bring up your account.
And according to their job performance being assessed on rigid metrics like average call time, this real person has, 3 minutes, 180 seconds to solve your problem before... Today, that's someone's real job, and it's clearly ripe for automation. But tomorrow, instead of being out of a job, our call centre workers' future could be brighter than you think. Welcome to the Future of X from OZY Media. I'm Faye Schlesinger, Managing Editor of OZY, and this season, in partnership with Smartsheet, we're digging into the future of the workplace. On today's episode, we'll hear how laziness and frustration could become valued as key human attributes in a robot-driven world.
For me, creativity is also being lazy. It's also being irritated. It's also being curious. It's basically being all the stuff that machines are not.
And we'll find out why project management, yes, project management, may become the most desirable job on earth.
We are in a seismic change in the workforce.
The rise of robots has led to some pretty scary warnings about the future of work.
We're going to wipe out millions of jobs in the United States.
The robots will be able to do everything better than us.
We are essentially entering a new industrial revolution.
The people versus the machines, from the dockers to the desk jockeys. Is no one safe?
You've heard the horror stories. Humans as a workforce are facing extinction. The robots are coming. No job is safe. The prospect of this kind of impending robot revolution can seem daunting. But the truth, the nature of what we consider human work has been evolving for a long time.
We're only a couple hundred years away from, where most people worked. The idea of employment and jobs was they worked on farms. They worked in agriculture. That's where 90%, if not 98% of all jobs were, not even 100 years ago.
This is Dr. James Canton, the CEO and chairman of the Institute for Global Futures, a think tank based in San Francisco. He says even before we get to a robot-led world, we need to recognise that we, as the human race, are already falling behind when it comes to the skills required for the jobs ahead.
So at the end of the day, humans need to be upskilled to a new level of knowledge-based innovation jobs. So right now, in the U.S. alone, we can't fill the better part of 1 to 3 million jobs because they demand a certain amount of technological skills that people don't have.
And that skills gap is not just driven by how fast AI and technology are growing. It's also related to the broader developments in commerce, trade, and globalization.
When we step back from this, we're in a natural evolution where humans are critically important. They're not going away. They're not being replaced by robots anytime soon or AI, but we're going to have to upskill people's jobs.
And that means learning some new tricks.
We need to recognize that whatever your job aspirations are, you're going to need to appreciate the innovation economy, and that may mean learning some new skills such as better communications, soft skills such as leadership, team building, emotional intelligence. These are things that humans do. These are not things machines do.
So let's revisit our customer service hero from before, the one with a dent in her car. When AI becomes more powerful, your credit card issue or your cable outage, it solves itself. It's already happening. A study from PwC predicts that by 2020, 85% of all customer service will take place without the involvement of any human. So in a few years' time, maybe our customer service hero's job has been outsourced. A robot has taken over. But does that put her out on the street? Not necessarily.
In the future that lies ahead, machines are going to be much better at being machines. So we'll be set free to be very good at being humans again.
Lisa-Lotte Lingzo is founding partner of Future Navigator, a consultancy based in Copenhagen which spots trends in technology. She believes that automation will push future workers to roles and tasks that are quintessentially human. We no longer need to be the machines we once were in an earlier industrial age.
And there, I think we're going to look back and think, gosh, we were so primitive back then, you know. We thought it was all about pretending to be machines, but actually it was completely other competences that we needed.
And some of these competencies, they're not skills as much as human traits, like, wait for it, irritability or laziness. Lingzo says these are traits we should actually embrace. Human frustration often leads us to find a better way of doing things, she says. Same with laziness.
Looking back at this history of humans, laziness had been a huge driving force. Again, machines won't be lazy. They go 24 hours 7. But it's an inherent human ability to say, hey, could we do this in a smarter way? Because I really can't be asked to check all these emails coming into my inbox all the time. Could we please use some artificial intelligence to sort it out for me so I can only do relevant stuff in my life? Thank you very much.
AI could even empower us to change the way we value work and our workers.
I think we are looking into a society where we will be much more aware on how not to press people like lemons, like we do today with burnouts and stress, but really finding out what does it take to make the best out of people.
Making the best out of people will involve helping them adapt to new roles. In some ways, the jobs of the future are already here, says Lingzo, and they look a lot like upgrades of our old ones.
So, for instance, I gave my grandmother this little bracelet because she's scared of saying that she needs water because then she needs to go to the toilet all the time. So I found this little wearable where it actually measures if she gets liquid enough. And then there's a little alarm sounding at the nurse's desk when she needs water. And that's working really well, but of course it's keeping the nurse really busy as well. But instead of having discussions on whether she should have water or not, they can discuss other and more meaningful, valuable things. So it has improved their relationship too, but it definitely hasn't put the nurse out of work.
So with all this change ahead, 10 years from now, it's almost certain our customer service agent's cubicle will be empty. But let's envisage what that more meaningful job upgrade might look like. Customer service will have a brand new meaning altogether. It's now called customer experience. Our hero has a corner office. She has a degree in psychology. It's no longer her job to solve your tech problems. Instead, she's there to guide your experience. You may even call her direct.
Hi, Claire?
Jason, how are you?
I'm good. I just wanted to call and say, well, thanks, I guess.
For what?
The app upgrade you told me about. It totally saved me. You just always seem to know what I need.
That's what I'm here for.
Some jobs that we don't think of as being creative today may get a major makeover. Take project manager. No, stay with me here.
I think project management as a skill set is very exciting.
Dr. James Canton again.
Think about it. In any industry across, whether it's finance or, you name it, insurance, banking, healthcare, sustainability, whatever your industry you want to play in, a lot of it is based on projects that get developed.
So even if you don't have a technical background in a particular area like technology or pharmaceuticals, you may be the person who knows how to manage a project.
90 to 95% of projects come in, over time and over budget. Project management is a skill set that is growing in need as the complexity of organizations and the demand on organizations to be more competitive requires people to have more process skills. Eventually, project managers will be managing robots, artificial intelligences, humans, multilingual, multi-domain, globalized teams, in cloud-based networks and organizations around the world.
Lisa Lotter-Lingzo says the project managers of the future will need to manage and train a company's human employees with a far greater level of sophistication and individualization.
So it will know exactly that Lisa needs to train and learn like this, collaborate like this. This is how she needs to be told that she's doing a good job. Whereas Robert, on the other side, he needs a completely different kind of feedback. So the project manager is going to have all these insight at his disposal.
Project management, like many jobs of the future, will be an inherently creative exercise. And that's understandable, according to Mark Mader, CEO of Smartsheet, which builds software tools for collaboration and project management.
One of the real opportunities with AI is to help have machines and software help make decisions for us. There's a certain amount of information that we as humans can process. There's a certain number of patterns that we can identify. And when things get too complex and too vast, we try to simplify. And the beautiful thing about the machines is that they do not care. Those things that we as humans say, well, we're bored, it's mundane, the machine says, give me more.
Machines can help us identify patterns, and then software can be designed to make decisions based on those patterns. This is what's known as machine learning. And this, in turn, frees us up to work on higher order tasks and, frankly, more interesting things. This already happens all the time. A common example is when your phone suggests words for you to use when you're responding to a text message or an email.
Think about all the messages you've ever sent in your life. And I want you to now think about all those messages you've sent and distill for me how you typically start a response to somebody. Like, answer that for me right now. You can't do it. There's a machine out there. There are data sets out there that know all of the emails I've sent over the last month. They know how I typically reply. They know my inflection. They know how I finish that first line.
The machine might not write the whole email for you yet, but it greatly reduces the energy you need to spend on the task yourself. This is the future of productivity. In 2017, a study from Carleton University in Canada found that people spend a third of their office time just reading, sending, and answering emails. Imagine getting a third of your day back. What would you do with it?
What I think is really key in this future,
Lisa Lotter-Lingzo again,
is that we move away from a whole generation of onlookers who are just looking at creativity and moving into a creative space. This is not about finding a job, it's about creating meaning wherever you are.
But creating meaning within the workforce of the future is not going to be simple or pain-free. Up next, how can we help make sure as many people as possible are prepared for what's to come? Hint, not everyone is going to have to learn how to be a coder.
Efficiency is great for saving money, but will only take you so far. To be truly effective as a business, you need to start with your people. Smartsheet aligns people and technology so they can plan, manage, and automate work, and stay focused on the big stuff, solving challenges and driving innovation. When everyone is working as one, they can move faster and achieve more. Maybe that's why Smartsheet is trusted by 90% of the Fortune 100. Smartsheet, the platform for enterprise achievement. Find out what you can achieve at smartsheet.com.
Creativity really applies to all people regardless of job function.
Mark Mader, CEO of Smartsheet again.
So creative isn't just a marketing and a design challenge. Every employee in every job function in every business should be creative.
And to thrive, Mader says creativity needs oxygen. It needs time, something that AI can help with.
AI and automation will provide people an opportunity to reduce, not fully eliminate, but reduce the things that most folks would consider to be less meaningful work. That's probably the most polite way to put it. It's the things that we're asked to do, that we have to do, that keep the trains running, but don't really meaningfully change someone's experience. If we can provide relief in areas where people are really acting as robots, that's a wonderful win.
And once we leave the robotic work to the robots, we have the bandwidth to reach our own creative potential.
So much of what we've been taught growing up, bigger, faster, stronger, do more, do more, do more. Slow the game down. And you often hear professional athletes talk about this. The ones who reach that pinnacle of their sport, oftentimes people say, boy, that person really acts as though the game has slowed down for them. And it's instinctive, right? They can anticipate what's happening next. They can take advantage with their teammates because they're not working at this frenetic pace, reading and reacting in the moment.
And when you empower workers to be more creative and more efficient, you also help solve another pervasive problem in the workplace today: people feeling less connected to what they do.
We will not achieve greatness as a society when people feel less and less connected to their work. So part of our job is again not just to drive efficiency, but to drive depth and connectedness to people's jobs. And I think software, while it seems counterintuitive, I think AI-driven software that relieves us and takes work away from us will actually cause us to be more connected. And that is, I think, one of the things that I'm so excited about.
Exciting, yes, but this isn't going to alleviate the very real worries out there. That individuals' jobs are at risk, or that without tech skills, they're going to get stuck partway up the career ladder.
Too many people have been told they need to have a certain educational background, need to have math and science, and if they don't have that, they're not going to participate in the next big wave. And I think we are going to be in deep trouble as a society if we intend to reskill everybody. Yes, we should absolutely promote math and science. But we also cannot abandon tens of millions, hundreds of millions of people who do not have those skills.
So what should a young person do in order to better prepare for the jobs of the future?
The main takeaway that I want young people to hear is that you have a role in the future, even if you are not a coder. Now, I might also, right on the heels of that, say, by the way, you should stay very close to technology. But don't confuse stay close to technology with you must be a coder.
Creative, tech-savvy, multidimensional. These will be some of the traits essential to navigating the workplace in the decades to come. It may not be an easy transition, but a scary robot revolution? Unlikely.
I really think we are moving into a much more humanistic 30 years, so it's going to be good fun.
Next week on The Future of X, we do a deep dive on the gamification of productivity. And we imagine a future in which teams collaborate on projects at work the same way they join together to play Fortnite. The Future of X is produced by OZY in partnership with Smartsheet. I'm your host and OZY's managing editor, Faye Schlesinger. Derek Clements is our producer and editor. Sean Braswell is our lead writer. Anna Davies and Shannon Williamson are our editorial producers. Rob Koulos is our executive producer, and Tracy Moran serves as deputy editor. If you want to take the next step on your own future, here's this week's future tip. Go study HR. I'm not joking. A survey by the MIT Sloan Management Review asked global business leaders to identify the most important skills for workers in a digital workplace. And only 18% listed tech. Instead, the leaders highlighted transformative vision, collaborative skills, forward thinking, and having a change-oriented mindset. Online courses to help develop your visionary skill set are often found in human resource programs. Why? Well, HR tends to combine business needs with human nature, something we'll all be tasked with in the years to come. Interested? We've posted some links at ozy.com/future. That's ozy.com/future.